Aho, brothers of the axe. It's Joe out here in the shop Saturday afternoon, and I've got another one for you guys. So, about a month ago, I was perusing Marketplace and I came across a listing with a bunch of old tools that were up for sale. And I reached out to the guy, got talking back and forth with him about this particular axe head that was in the pictures. And long story short, after a bunch of back and forth, he let me know that he had a few other axes as well that he was interested in getting rid of. So I told him I would take them all. And when I went to pick them up, he had this really nice, what I'm assuming is a True Temper True Temper Kelly wood slasher, still with the original red paint on it. Really good shape. Bit is nice and full. No mushrooming. Really nice axe. So happy to get that one, and he wound up giving me a couple other nice ones too. This is, I haven't taken a wire wheel to it yet. I'm not sure if it's marked or not. Looks like it's been repaired at some point, but a nice old hewing hatchet. It looks like a symmetrical, it's double beveled. It's not a single bevel, but pretty cool. Like £1.50, Kent pattern. Somebody definitely went in there and ran a bead, so I'm guessing that this was cracked at one point. I'm gonna go ahead and take a grinder to that and see what, how that weld is, holding up, if it's looking good or not. But I'll dress that up with a grinder, and maybe sand this head down and put a nice bluing finish on it at some point. Maybe we'll do a video on that one down the line. So we had that one, and then he also had this really nice genuine plum BSA. And I've had, I don't know, I've probably had 20 of these things over the years, but this one's in great shape. Looks like the original handle still on it. Seen better days, this one. I have a bunch of NOS 12 to 14 inch hatchet handles that I can throw on this, or maybe even just make one. I have a couple already made. So that'll be a good project too down the line. But nice clean stamping, just some surface rust on that one. So great finds. But as I got talking to the guy, he had mentioned that he had had one more head that he wasn't interested in selling. It was his father's axe, and he had been telling me that his dad had really prized this axe, and he had bought it at a oh, he messaged me about this later. He had bought it, I think, back in the 70s, and he had taken it camping, all throughout his life. Bought it brand new, I believe he said, in a department store. I'll have to check the text thread and see exactly what he said, but sounds like Dad bought the head brand new, and had it his whole life, and was interested in maybe getting it rehafted. So I showed up and talked to the guy for a bit, and he showed me the axe head, and to my surprise, it was a Norlund Tomahawk. And yeah, so I told him I'd gladly throw a new handle on it for Dad, and it is in phenomenal shape. It really has been taken good care of. Really not even any surface rust on it, and you guys are gonna like this. Still the orange paint on the top from when it was brand new, and I'm not sure if this is still the factory edge or not. Looks like it's got a pretty obtuse grind. Not much of a bevel ground on it, but it's still sharp. I mean, sharpish. No real chipping or anything like that. So everything sort of tracks with what the gentleman was saying. It looks like his dad really did take good care of this throughout the years. But he had said at some point the handle cracked, and they just never put a new handle on it. So long story short, I am going to be popping a new handle on this guy for them and getting it back to him, because part of the reason why they were doing the clean out was because they sold, he sold Mom and Dad's house, and I didn't ask them where they were moving, but it sounds like they're moving away. So got to get this done soon, and what better time than now. So what I'm thinking we're going to do is, I have this laying around. This is a cutout of I believe it's about a 28 inch. I cut it out for a full size. I was going to put a jersey on this, but I'm just really short right now. on longer billets, longer hardwood stock to make anything. So this one's going to have to get repurposed for this particular project, because I don't want this to linger around, and I don't want to leave this to last minute as they're trying to sell the house and get his parents you know, move to wherever they're moving. So yeah, this is going to be one. This is going to be a good little project here. And for anybody, I'm sure everybody knows about Norlund's if you're on this channel, but this is I think what, about a 2 pound or a 2 1/4 pound head. This is the larger. You got this is the Tomahawk, which was the boy's axe Hudson Bay style, and then the smaller one was the Voyager, which was the hatchet that came on, I think, a 12 or a 14 inch, and I believe these came on a 24 inch. Could be wrong on that, but had a couple of these over my 10-12 years of collecting, and I never hung on to one, but you know, they're pretty cool. They're not exactly my cup of tea. I believe I actually showed this axe on the Swedish boys heads, the boys axe heads that I got, and I showed this axe and said that I didn't think it was that great of a design, because the eye is just so short. It doesn't really make contact with a whole heck of a lot of wood, and they, generally speaking, have come loose. But they're very sought after, very collectible, very cool. A lot of history here. And again, for those of you guys that don't know, haven't done the research on these, I believe these were made by Man Edge Tool out of Pennsylvania. So even cooler for me, being a PA guy. But I'm excited to get this one done. It's a very nice example. Probably even nicer than the two that I had. Like I said, Dad really did take good care of this. There's very little, actually there's really no mushrooming on it. Bit's in great shape. And I'm debating on whether I even want to take a wire wheel to this. I may just take some time with a little triple-aught steel wool and some oil, because I don't necessarily even know if I want to take whatever patina this has off of it, and I definitely don't want to get rid of the remnants of that paint, but we'll see. So I'm going to start thinning this handle out and get this hung. And I shout out to Iron Ox Axe and Tool. I just watched a video that he did of a Hudson Bay. Was just sitting on my couch this morning watching that one, and he charred the handle. I think what I'm gonna do on this one is maybe char the back third of it. I might mask it off and char the back third of it, and then kind of blend it just for a little bit of a different look. So I'm gonna go ahead and get working on this one, guys, and I will get back to you when it looks like something. At a bare minimum, guys, I'm using the spoke shave just to get some curls going because I'm going to have a fire tonight. So at a bare minimum, I'm going to use this for a little bit, at least, to get some tinder. It's like 80 degrees today. I think it's, what, April 19th? 80 degrees, Easter's tomorrow. I'll take it. Was going to put a kayak in the water today, but like it tends to happen, this Saturday just kind of got away from me. So as I work these handles down too, I just kind of bounce around back and forth from tools. And if anybody was going to ask, oh, why do you do it this way or why do you do that and then pick up that tool, I don't have an answer because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'll just cut you off right at the pass. There's no real rhyme or reason. Just kind of go at it the best I can, keep attacking the wood, try to get it nice and smooth out the jaggedness of my shoddy bandsaw work. Man, what a difference a couple weeks makes, because 3 or 4 weeks ago I was out here freezing my ass off in this garage, in this shed, and today I'm breaking a sweat in here. My shed is insulated, so in the wintertime it's a blessing because I can get the Mr. Buddy heater cooking and get this shed 75 degrees out when it's 10 below zero. But unfortunately, in the summertime, it kind of works against me. The shed turns into a sauna, but luckily I've got a double door, so I just kind of prop it open, and I've got a big job site fan that I use to exhaust the hot air out. And anybody that's watched more than one of my videos knows that when I get working in here, there's a lot of hot air. Been trying to upload shorts a lot too, just to keep some content pushing out there. It's pretty easy to film, you know, these 15 to 45-second shorts to keep everybody entertained. So if you guys are liking the shorts, drop me a comment and let me know. I did a couple axe by the firelight videos that seemed to get a good response. Thinking about doing a couple more of those. Inhaling a lot of sawdust out here. Thinking about doing that as a little series, just, you know, showing the really nice, like, flickering, contrasting light of the fire on nicely stamped axes. But yeah, those shorts seem to do really well. So. All right, I think we're gonna cut it there. guys, no more 8/4 stock handles for me. I got really spoiled laminating the palm swells on a couple 4/4 builds that I did, and this is a lot of work removing all this wood, man. I kind of forgot how much work it is, and especially considering all my draw knives are not really set up right now. I have to sharpen them. I've got to set a bevel on at least one of them and get one of them cranking, because this is a lot of work to be doing with rasp and spoke shave. But it'll be a good build. I actually PM'd the gentleman whose father this axe is going to be for and showed him the progress, and you know, he said Dad's going to be really excited about this. Forgot to ask him if it was going to be a surprise or not. I guess it doesn't really matter either way, but it'll be a nice build. I'm thinking by the time I set the head down, we're probably going to be looking at about 26 inches. Some of you guys are going to be more knowledgeable on Norlund than I am, but I think that the Tomahawk came with a 26 or a 28. I'm thinking it came with a 26. But either way, this little Tomahawk head on this 26-inch handle is going to be a nice build. And this gentleman is an older gentleman, so I'm not necessarily sure how much practical use this is going to get, but you know, it sounded like his son said that he had a couple of axes that he used for camping and things like that. So, you know, worst case scenario, maybe he takes it out and gets some chopping done with it, which will be nice, and it'll be a nice heirloom for his son to have anyway. So I'm not sure what's next for me, guys, as far as projects goes. I have a bunch of things queued up. I've got a couple videos that I want to try to do. I have a quick, easy video that I think I'm going to knock out at some point within the next week or two. Actually, it might even come out before this video. But definitely got a couple projects queued up. If anybody wants to throw in the comments what they're working on, what projects they have in the queue for spring, I'd definitely love to hear. But yeah, man, just getting excited for spring, excited for you know, getting out, doing all that spring and summer stuff. The flea markets are going to be popping soon. Yard sale season is here, so hopefully I'll have a couple new acquisitions to show everybody sooner than later. What else? Just trying to think of what else. Was chatting with my buddy Kevin today that I met through Axe Junkies, and he got a couple really good scores today on Marketplace. Got himself a really nice embossed Warren double bit. Got himself a really nice Plum Cruiser in pretty good shape, and he got himself another Norlund. I think it was the camp axe, the 2 1/4 pound boys axe, the Michigan head. Small Michigan boys axe. I think that was called the camper or the cabin axe, something like that. If you're a Norlund guy, throw in the comments. Actually, if you're a Norlund guy, throw in the comments what the Tomahawk came standard on. Was it 26, 28, or 24? And what was that boy's axe called? Oh, you know, the other thing is I asked on Axe Junkies the other day, and nobody ever commented, but does anybody know what's going on with Yesteryear's Tools website? Because every time I try to log on there now, it says there's something going on with the domain's compromised or something like that, and it just won't let me on. Because when I sent that Collins out, I wanted to print out a bunch of Collins stuff for Kevin to take a look at, but I could not get on the site. So if anybody knows what's going on with that site, I'd definitely be curious to see what's up there, because that site was just a wealth of knowledge, and I would be really sad to see that gone from the internet, because that was, I mean, I would say probably 75 to 80% of the knowledge that I know about axe history and things like that has come off reading the archives on that site. So yeah, hopefully everything's good with that and comes back online soon enough. Because what a page that really was. Whatever the gentleman's name was that put the time and effort into creating that page, man, God bless you, because what a resource that is for us axe guys. I wouldn't even begin to fathom how many hours that guy spent putting those archives together. And the most remarkable thing about that page was it wasn't full of ads and clutter and things like that. It was as clean could be. And there were so many awesome pictures of the old stampings and the old paper labels and things like that from all these companies. Even some really obscure companies. Well, maybe not that obscure, but a lot more obscure than Plum, Kelly, and Collins, that's for sure. So I think I'm working on another 45-minute to an hour-long video here, guys. I know one gentleman commented on one of my last videos saying he wanted to see hour-long ramble videos. So here you go. Be careful what you wish for. Yeah, we're getting there. It's still in the clubbish realm, but part of the problem is I just got done hanging one of those really nice Whiskey River handles, so I guess everything's gonna feel pretty clubbish compared to that. I'm going to keep working this down, and I'll get back with you guys at a later point. Yeah, one more shot before I hit the sack for tonight. Yeah, but that's going to be sweet. And I'm going to have to do some work on this tongue here. I will cut in clips of some bandsawing, but I already modified the tongue a little bit with the bandsaw, and it's still, let's see. Yeah, it's still quite a bit thicker, but I just didn't want to take too much meat off and wind up screwing myself over. But this will get set way down on that shoulder, and I will have to taper that tongue into the eye a little bit more. So when it's all said and done, it might actually even be less than 26 inches, but it'll be a good swinging axe. So excited about getting this one done. All right, signing off for tonight, guys. Pretty center, which is saying a lot for me, guys. All right, let's get this head seated. So we're just take the mask off. So we're just chamfering the inside of the bottom of the eye so that it doesn't cut its way on to the tongue as much as you know, a nice tapered fit. So what winds up happening is this this ridge here is very sharp, and it'll wind up curling and cutting on and creating that shelf. A lot of guys refer to it as the ninja shelf, but you don't want to have your head seated on a shelf, because it'll start the shelf will start to compress and your axe head will rock. And it's especially important with these Hudson bays because the eye is so short. You really got to get a good fit with these guys, or it will come loose. About halfway. Pretty straight. Pretty in line. Going all right. And just a little tip. I don't know if some of you guys do this or not, but when I see that I have a little gap going, what I'll do is I'll kind of throw a pencil line. I always keep a carpenter's pencil on the bench, so I'll just kind of color in, areas that I don't want to remove on the belt sander or with the rasp or what have you. So a lot of times, you want to mark areas that you do want to remove, but when I'm fitting ahead, I kind of go in the reverse order, and I'll mark areas that I don't want to see the pencil line taken off as I shape. All right, guys, so I'm on about my 7th or 8th test fit. We are just about out of the top of the eye. Let's see. Looking pretty good. No gaps that I can see. Yeah. So I'm gonna, focus, there we go. I'm gonna seat it down a little more, get that handle proud of the eye, and we'll take a look at wedging and finishing up the details on this handle, and then we'll see what we're gonna do about the edge. Yeah, okay. I'm glad that I did that. I was initially not going to touch it with the cut brush at all, but that really put a nice finish to it. And I very just lightly kissed it with the angle grinder, with the cut brush rather, I should say. Really tried to not put a whole lot of pressure on it. Now I am going to leave, I'm going to leave the top the way it is. I think any amount of pressure with the angle grinder is going to get rid of that original paint there, and I don't want to do that. But for the flats, I think just lightly kissing it with the angle grinder was the right call. Man, this is in really good shape. I wonder if he still has the original mask that came with it. I'll have to ask him. All right, and I am going to definitely take this edge back a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy. I think this is probably going to be more of a decorative piece than anything, but I'd still like to grind this back just a touch. Not going to go too crazy, and I wouldn't tape off a head like this. But again, I don't want to ding this up or anything like that with a misstroke of the file. So, like I said, I know this has a lot of sentimental value. So I just want to be as cautious as I can. I think that's going to be about it. Just get a little bit of a burr down the whole edge. And I'm going to flip it, do the same, and then take it, well, I'll probably hang it before I get it crazy sharp. Oh, pardon me. Oh, get a little coffee. Oh, it's 10:30 at night and I'm out here slugging coffee, guys. I officially have a caffeine problem. All right, let me flip this thing over. And I don't think we're going to finish it up tonight. 10:30, I got work tomorrow at 8 a.m., so this will probably be finished up tomorrow night, I'm thinking. All right, I'm going to flip it, do the same on the other side, and next time I talk to you guys, it'll probably be tomorrow night. Alright guys, so I think I want to do something like that for the fawn's foot. So I'll take that over to the bandsaw and cut this knob end off, and then I think I want to char the end. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I think I'm going to do a charred knob end and kind of taper it back off into the raw wood. Alright, so I'm going to bring this to the bandsaw and I'll take you guys along for that. So I always leave some leeway, because again, my bandsaw skills are not the absolute best. So I always leave a little leeway on the end just to shape it down. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this with a rasp and get these corners rounded off. Maybe just do a little bit more work tapering the very end. So really all I'm doing here, guys, is just kind of rounding off the square edges on this palm swell and just throwing a general chamfer around the perimeter. Nothing too crazy. Just taking a 90-degree edge and turning it into a 45, basically. Alright guys, so I got it chucked up in the vise here, and I taped it off because I'd love to try to see if I can get a hard line on this burning. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'm not sure how well this tape's going to hold up. But what I'm going to try to do, at least, is just maybe soak the tape a little bit so it doesn't just burn. I don't know. Maybe take the scientific approach here. Oop. Just char it with the propane torch. Oop. Anybody ever mess around with this vinegaroon stuff? It's like an old timer's trick to sort of, it's like a kind of a DIY homemade stain. And basically you just make it by taking white distilled vinegar and dissolving a bunch of iron in it, like screws, nuts, bolts, that kind of stuff. And it makes this really orangey sort of, you know, kind of wood stain. I don't use it all that much, but I don't know. I went to go grab the linseed oil and saw that sitting there, and this is kind of a pretty blonde piece of wood, so figured I'd give this a shot. Works really good. It just smells like shit. It stinks. I don't know, I just kept it in an old glass bottle and I drilled a hole in the top so that it's easy to apply, but this stuff makes linseed oil smell like roses. It's not pleasant. But it adds a really nice, you know, really nice hue to the wood. And then it takes stain, or not stain, pardon me, it takes oil very well. Yeah, this stuff is pungent. All right. Oh, God. That stuff is rough, man. And there is a bit of a chemical reaction there, so it's probably best to neutralize it with some water before oiling it in. Crazy with the boiled linseed oil. Since I just dumped this all over my bench, I might as well refinish the bench while I'm at it. Man. Yeah, I like it, guys. I like the way this turned out. I haven't messed around with the Norlund in quite a few years. Got a little bit of a light spot there. I might go back at that a little bit, just spot treat that with the torch. And anybody that's ever worked with the vinegaroon or boiled linseed oil can smell this video through the camera. Ooh. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, well, I'm going to let this sucker dry down and throw another couple coats of wax, or pardon me, oil on it. Maybe spot treat the lighter part here on that handle, and then we'll do an overview of it on the bench. Alright guys, so another one down, another one gone, another one bites the dust. What do I think? I think it turned out pretty well. I think the handle feels great. Reminds me how cool Norlunds are. Like I said, I had a few over the years and I sold them because at the time my family needed the money. I kind of wish I hadn't, but I don't know. Maybe now I'll go on the hunt for a Tomahawk or a Voyager or really any Norlund. But pretty cool axe. Let's see. What do we come in at? 25 and a half. Call it 25 and a half. So kind of split the difference. I wasn't sure whether or not these came stock with a 24 or 26. So let's just say we planned on a 25 and a half. It was all by design. But either way, I think the gentleman will be very happy with how this axe turned out. I think it's going to be a sweet swinging axe. I don't know if this gentleman is going to get out and swing it. From what I understand, he is getting up there in years, but the project really was commissioned by his son. So, you know, maybe his son will swing it on camping trips to come. So yeah, thanks for coming along with me on this one, guys. The only thing I have yet to do is just hone the edge a little bit with the stones. But you know, we all know how that goes. I won't bore you any further. Thanks for sticking along with me, guys, and I appreciate anybody that's subbed, anybody that's commenting, anybody that's throwing me likes on my long form videos or my shorts. I appreciate all of it, guys. Really trying to grow the channel. So if anybody wants to help me out, you know, throw me a sub, man. Every single one is very meaningful to me. And we had an influx. I had probably about 10 new subs since the last video dropped. So thank you to all the new subs, and I will see you on the next one, guys. Have a great night.